I think what makes choir at Luther so special is that each one is a strong community. And we wouldn't be able to create the magic of the choir experience here without the community, without knowing that we trust and believe and love the people around us. And the way that we just blend our voices and our hearts together, like that is community, and that's why choir is just so magical here.
One of the great traditions of Luther College in music is students who participate in music from all academic areas on this campus. And so for our music majors, obviously it's the daily interaction that they get making great music at a high level. For those students who come from other academic areas, it's the opportunity to step temporarily out of their academic area and to be in a rehearsal or with people that share an interest with them. I think that's one of the greatest things about Luther College is that 1/3 of our student body participate in music in some way, shape, or form.
Music has always been important to me. I was in band in middle school, and I just on a whim in 8th grade orientation to 9th grade, I snuck away and went into the choir room and listened to what they had to say, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And it was wonderful. And I went to Dorian Festival junior year and senior year, and I loved it. It's one of the main reasons I met Luther. Singing every day is such a deep joy, and it makes my world better.
At Luther, our first-year students all sing in either Norse Choir, our tenor bass choir, or Aurora, our soprano alto choir. And we're one of the few places that do it that way.
My first year in Norse Choir, getting to experience community with growing closest to some of the first people I met at Luther were the folks sitting around me in that choir, and just growing and seeing them grow over the time. Being roommates with one of them later on, it's just been great to have that choir community.
There's nothing like that first year singing experience, and I love watching the students get to know one another and develop those relationships over the course of that first year here on campus.
I have so many great memories of Christmas at Luther, just standing there with 500 voices, singing these huge chords and having that first candle lighting moment where you get to just raise up the candle and have everyone singing around you.
When students go on tour, they have this intense period of being together 24 hours a day. And there are a lot of things that come with that. You get to know people in a way that maybe you wouldn't in another setting. You also get to experience funny mishaps together. You get to travel the area around Decorah and then also out into the Midwest and internationally as well. On those kinds of excursions, you are introduced to people in a new light, and I think you get to know them more fully, and I think you get to know them in a way that is deeply meaningful. And then coming back to our hometown crowd and having the cheers of peers and colleagues, and I can remember the way that I felt seeing those students' faces as they engaged body, mind, spirit, voice in presenting that music for a community that really was appreciative.
The choirs have been amazing during this pandemic. So often we are thinking about all of the things that have been taken away from these singers as they've tried to make music in this year. yet they've really risen to the challenge. They've wanted to create, they wanted to be in community, they wanted the opportunity to make music together.
We've taken to rehearsing outdoors. Some of us have rehearsed in the drained community swimming pool. We're singing masked all the time, which is problematic at times because we don't get to see the lovely expressions on people's faces. But at least we're still singing together, and that's really important.
For me, the crux of it is those moments that both define here humanity and our collective humanity and kind of give us that glimpse of something else. And like whatever that means for whoever, I think we find that music is the language to that, and it's the closest connection that we have.
Singing is such a huge part of how I just find meaning and spirit and life in the everyday, and just having those rehearsals, having that time to just be joyful and intentional and musical, it's essential.